just wanted to give you some best practices for if you are using ProspectBoss, our lead store, and our CRM dialer to prospect for home and auto. So let's get into it. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to show you our data list. So this is your dashboard for our data list. And you would come over here to consumer list. Okay. We're going to select our criteria. So we're going to put in Savannah, Georgia, and we're going to use these zip codes. For home and auto, we generally say to target people who are between 30 and 60 years old. Okay. So in here, an age range, we're going to put 30 to 60. Income, we say about 30,000 or more per year. So we're going to select all of these, and just keep in mind when you're doing these income ranges, to upload a CSV file into the ProspectBoss CRM dialer, the file can have no more than 10,000 items, spaces on it. So basically, if you've got, 10,000 results, you're good. But if you get more than that, you're going to want to come back and kind of tweak these a little bit so that you can get that range down. And then you can just simply pull a second list. Up here, we don't want to forget this. This is scrub against the do not call list. Now, if you are planning on sending out mailers, you don't need to click this because you're not calling. But if you're pulling this list to call, you want to make sure that's clicked. Okay. So you've got your income range. And the only thing here that you really need is select that they're a homeowner. Okay. You don't really need any of this. And we're going to hit search. Now we got 978 results that are not on the DNC. Okay. So we're going to download that file. It's downloading right down here at the bottom. And now we're going to go over to the CRM dialer. Now I'm going to show you the dashboard. There we go. Okay, so this is your dashboard for your CRM dialer. This is what it will look like. You have your hot list, which is a leads scoring system based on how interactive your leads are with your outreach. This is your planner area here. This is going to tell you of any tasks, any appointments, any callbacks, any reminders that you have set in the system. They're all going to show up here either in a month format or in a list format. Okay, so we're going to go and create a calling campaign. So over here on the left-hand side is your dashboard, your menu. Okay, you've got calling campaigns, and then we're going to click create a campaign. And we need to name our calling campaign. So we're going to do home and auto. And we are going to select United States and Canada for our country. You can select to use a static script, which is just a script that sits up on your screen. It doesn't move, it doesn't do anything. It's just there. It gives you the entire thing right there in front of you. Dynamic scripts are moving scripts. So as you're going through your call and you're talking to your prospect, and based on the answers that they give you, you'll select an answer and it will move to the next thing that you should be saying. Right here is where we upload that list that we just downloaded. So we'll upload our list and we're going to hit next step. This is your default settings. Okay, so I'm a female. I would be using female on-hold recordings, right? So on-hold recordings are, we are going to use a 3-line dialer as an example because it's our most common, our most popular level. So that means that the system calls 3 numbers from your list at a time. Now, say that of those 3 numbers, this person picks up, this one, they just don't answer, this one picks up, but you're already on a call over here. So what happens to this other one while you're on the call? That's where the on hold recordings come in. They basically buy you some time. They're a diversion, kind of, keeps them holding for a moment while you kind of wrap it up if you can. Now, the third on hold recording says, I'll call you right back. And then you get to finish up the call that you're on. And then the system stops dialing. It will not dial the next 3 numbers, but it will stop dialing so that you can call that other person back and say, I'm so sorry, I'm calling you back. So they automatically have a positive assumption of you just because they were told you were going to call back and then you did. So you are a person of your word, which can only be positive, right? So down here in the call settings, you can select your caller ID. Now you have 3 options to choose from. You can use the PB number that we select or that we assign to you when we created the account for you. You can use local presence, which means if you're using or if you're calling out of a different area code, then you can select local presence so that it will automatically generate a number that is not being used by someone else. It's not spoofing a number, okay? It is assigning a number with that local area code. It's a number that is not in use by an actual person or entity or company or anything like that. It is a not in use number. But it just looks like it's coming from a local area code so that your prospects are more likely to pick it up. The other option is you can use your own caller ID. So you can, if you have an office number that you want to show as your caller ID so that that number can be called back, you can do that. If you wanted to put in your cell number or if you wanted to put in your mama's number, whatever, you could choose and select whatever caller ID number you wanted to put in there. This right here, the phone ring time, is you can select how long you want each number to ring before it just dismisses it. This is where we were talking about the 3-line dialer. If you have a 3-line dialer, then you will only see the numbers 3, 2, and 1 here, because you can select how many numbers you want it to call out at a time for this specific campaign. So if you've got a new person that's starting out and they wanted to kind of just test it, see how familiar they can get with it, maybe put it on 1 and let them just go through, 1 number at a time. You can try out 2 numbers if you're not ready to be right at 3, but we don't really have a 2-line price point. So that's how you get a 2-line dialer, is by purchasing a 3-line and only using 2 until you get really familiar with it. Video call. Now we do have video conferencing available. So you can enable a video call. You just kind of need to know that the people that you're calling also have the equipment to do that as well. So maybe that would be more, instead of, if you're just calling cold prospects, video call might be better suited for, your weekly follow-up or your monthly follow-up. Auto pause is a really neat thing, because if you are not confident on the phone just yet and you feel like you need a little bit of time in between your number sequences going through. So at the end of your 3 dials, the system will automatically pause. It's not going to dial those next 3 numbers. And you can catch your breath. You can, finish up typing your notes, whatever you need to do. And then you can say, okay, I'm ready to dial the next 3 numbers. If you do not enable auto pause, it will, as soon as you're done with a call, it's going to dial the next 3. So it moves very quickly. So you just need to be aware of that. Call recording. We always recommend that you enable call recording. There are many, many reasons why you would want to record your calls. Some people just don't have a need for it, so you don't have to, but we always just recommend that you do. Time zone and protection is very important, okay? Say you're on the East Coast and you're making calls, and there is somehow you got a number from the West Coast. Now, if you're making calls at 9 a.m. on the East Coast, it's 5 a.m. on the West Coast. And not only is it illegal to make that call, it's not very nice. So don't call people at 5 a.m. Make sure that you've got your time zone protection on. Next step is you can choose to send an email. Now, this can be a manual email that you click, while you're on the call. You can select send an email. This is the email I want sent, and do that. You can also do that with text messaging. You can, while you're in the call, you can click to send a text message to that person once you have their permission. And we recommend that you make it your digital business card. Okay, you've got 160 characters, right? In a text message. So make sure that the information that's in that 160 characters is vital. So your name, your address, your phone number, your email, your website, whatever information you want them to have, make it your digital business card. That is valuable information. With the emails though, if you leave a voicemail for a call, so you're calling, your 3 numbers, one of them is an answering machine, you click to send the voicemail. You can also have it set up to where it immediately also sends an email at the same time. So you're utilizing 3 different automations, your phone call, your voicemail, and your email, all at the same time. But what you want to make sure is that email that's being sent with that voicemail, you want them to connect to each other. Okay, so you want to say, I just left you a voicemail, but I wanted to send an email as well to follow up. You want to connect your email with your voicemail so that they know that they came from the same person. All right, now we are going to format from our list. So this is how you're going to connect the categories in your list that we uploaded to the categories in the system. So first name, we're going to select first name. Last name, last name. Okay, we're going to do this. We're just matching them up. So primary phone, it's going to be phone, alternate phone, phone cell, whichever way you want that to be. Address, you're going to do address. Address 2, the second line of the address if you really want it. City, state, zip, we're just matching them up. Okay, now we did put an income range. So income range, we are going to put income. Age, we did select an age range, so we're going to select age. Okay, so we're going to submit this. This is going to create your calling campaign. We'll get a little pop-up here in a second. Campaign created successfully. Okay, so now it is going to go back out to your My Campaigns section, and you've got your home and auto right here. Now, if you wanted to start calling immediately, you would just push this little play button. But I want to show you how the contacts look inside the system. So we're just going to click on that number of contacts there. And this is going to bring up all the contacts in your list. All right. We're going to click one and pull up their profile. Okay. So we've got the name, we've got the phone number, we've got the address, and then the custom fields, which was the income range and the age, are going to be here. Okay, this is how much this person makes, and this is how old she is. Okay, now all of your activities are going to show here. your calls, emails, text messages, everything, all of the texts, all the contacts that you've made with this particular person are going to show here. Any notes you have on that person will show here. If you want to look at emails only, that'll be here. Only the calls that have been made, only the texts that have been made. This is tasks. So this is if you've set an appointment with this person, if you have set a reminder to call this person back, if you have set a meeting, another call, anything like that, it's going to show up under this tasks feature or section. Now it will also show up in your dashboard. Say today is April 9th. So say you set a reminder to call her back April 16th. Okay. So in your month view, that task is going to show up here under April 16th. If you're in the list view, it'll show you by date and who it is and what you're supposed to do here. Okay, so that is how to use the data list and the dialer system. One quick, kind of best practice tip. When you are dispositioning calls, you have options like cold lead, warm lead, hot lead, not interested, do not call, things like that. So your not interested disposition, that should be people who you are removing from your list. You're not going to call them ever again. Those are the people who get angry that you're calling. Those are the people who, say, take me off your list. Those are going to be the not interested disposition. When you get someone who says, I'm not interested, we recommend that you label them a cold lead because they haven't said, don't ever call me again. They just said they're not interested, which to a good salesperson, that means I'm not interested right now. So label them a cold lead. Put them on a drip campaign for emails. Put them on a reminder campaign where in 2 months you give them a call back. Just don't let them fall through the cracks because you never want to just let a lead go away if there's a possibility of converting them, right? So just make sure that you're following up. Follow up is key. You have to be making those sequential contacts. Okay, for a warm lead, for home and auto, we generally say a warm lead is someone who's ready in the next 2 to 3 months. Okay, a hot lead is someone who's ready within the next month to purchase, like they are actively shopping for home and auto insurance. So they are your hot leads. Those are the ones that you want to send an email to right away. You want to call them again in a few days. You want to stay top of mind with them because they are actively shopping. They are ready to buy. All right. So those are our best practices, tips and tricks with the system. If you have any questions about, what products we offer or pricing, you can go to our website. It's ProspectBoss.com. If you have, questions about the system or, different things that it can do, you can call us. It's 1-800-662-4009, and extension 1 is our sales, and they are, a